Jim from Jim's Digital Marketing. Today we're going to cover competitor campaigns on Google search ads, but we're going to take a strategic look into this. Instead of saying do this, do that, we're going to take a look at why or which industries actually benefit from those type of campaigns, and is this a really strategic move for your business or Google search campaigns. Before we get into it, I talk all about digital marketing in this channel, all about Google advertising, Facebook advertising, LinkedIn ads, TikTok ads, all sorts of advertising platforms and copywriting. So if you're like this type of content, free stuff, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and let's jump right in. Competitors campaign, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You literally show your ads when people search for your competitor's name or product, ideally name. But there are certain cases you want to avoid, and some certain cases you definitely want to jump right in, right? So who doesn't want to show their ads when they search? Let's say someone searches for your competitor as your ad show up. It is a great, in theory, strategy to go after, right? So let's start by the industry, and if your industry really qualifies for that, or you should definitely jump right in and create a competitors campaign on Google search ads. Let's start. So if your industry is price sensitive, what does that mean? Let's say a broadband network or a phone network or a cleaning service falls into that category. Price sensitive. So a t-shirt is not that price sensitive, guys. Like there's Balenciaga t-shirts costing you thousands of dollars, or a Target t-shirt for like $5, right? So there's not really price sensitivities. Otherwise, Balenciaga would go out of business. But in internet plans, you don't really have that much of a brand value. Oh, it's Tangerine, or oh, it's platypus, blah blah, like whatever the internet plan is, phone plan is, you don't really are willing to pay thousands of dollars more because it's a certain brand. That's what I mean by being price sensitive. Price sensitive industries, if you are in one of those, competitors campaigns can be really profitable. I mean, I will cover how profitable and what is the expectations you should have out of those, but let's cover this industry first. So which brings us to our second point, which is the offer. So if you have a better offer, guys, if you don't have a better offer, just showing your name there, yes, it will increase your target share. Like you will show up more, but it will not impact your brand awareness when people are searching for it, because you don't have a visual component into this. On Facebook ads, yes, you can increase the brand awareness, but on here a Google search campaign, like a couple of texts, couple of sentences even, it's not going to increase brand awareness. So you want to return here when people search for your competitor, and you want to steal their customers. That's the whole point of this campaign structure, right? You want to get your competitors' potential clients, essentially. So if your offer, what do I mean by offer? Offer has a bunch of components. So in our case, the main critical thing is price. As I said, if you're price sensitive, you want to put that price in your headline and pin that. Pin that headline in either first position, or second position. If you put it into third position and you are cheaper than your competitors, you might not show up every time if you put it into third. On mobile, you most likely are not going to show up, but on desktop, you rarely show up on the third position. Sorry, third headline is not going to show up. So that's why if you have a cheaper price in your offer in these industries, in these services, put and pin it in your headline. So if I'm looking for a internet service, I want to connect Vodafone internet ABN services to my home, right? And I'm looking at usually their services like $60 a month, let's say $100 a month. And your offer is like $50 a month. You pin that price right there. I was like, oh shit, this is really cheap. Who is this guy? I'm just gonna go sign up with them. Bam, you stole their customers right away. And as I said, this is if it's a really price sensitive industry. What is the second option? If you might not be always the cheap one, right? So that is the case. It's not impossible. It's impossible to always offer the cheap stuff. So let's cover what you can do if you're not the cheapest one. If you have a money back guarantee, that's what I mean by the offer. So you can either have money back guarantee, you either can have faster servicing times, you have to have a unique selling proposition that your competitor doesn't have. This depends on, by the way, you have to write a specific ad copy for a specific competitor. You can only target one competitor, that is totally up to you, or you can target like 6 competitors. You look at your impression share and the auction insights in your other non-branded search campaigns. You look at what are the other players, and you look at the players. Okay, I have like 10 to 6. I will target 5 of the other people who are in my auction insights, getting the biggest biggest pieces of the pie. I will target those guys. And then you build up a campaign and you set separate ad groups, right? If you want to set a certain budget for each competitor, you have to split them into separate campaigns. But if you ask me, I don't really suggest that because it's not going to take a big chunk of your budget. But of course, if you're playing with really big budgets, you want to break it down and be really nuanced about how you target your competitors. Let's go on. Let's say, as I said, your offer for X competitor, they don't offer a guarantee, and you offer a guarantee. For Y competitor, you're cheaper than them. So for that case, you're gonna push and pin number one headline to the price. And for the Y competitor, they don't offer a money back guarantee. You pin that money back guarantee in the first headline. If it doesn't fit, pin it in the description. Or let's say they service, let's say, or maybe like carpet cleaning. You call them, they have an instant quote, but they service them one business day. You maybe have same day service. You gotta pin that for the Z competitor. Pin that in the first headline, same day service. That is your USP for that specific competitor. Hope it makes sense, guys. If it doesn't, please drop a comment below and I will answer each and every one of you. Now we have the structure of the campaign. As I said, you don't want to put your competitor ads in the same ad as your branded or another non-branded campaigns. The reason being is you want to control how much you spend on the competitor's campaign. Self-explanatory. So you want to have a separate campaign instead of a separate ad group in an existing campaign. So you won't be able to control it, right? So if you have a couple of ad groups and let's say your competitor has a really high search volume, they're gonna spend most of your budget and you're not gonna be profitable because competitor campaigns usually are not that profitable. There's a separate strategy to gain a little bit of a market share and steal a little bit of a customers from your competitors, since there's thousands of touch points before a person actually buys, right? So you're gonna have a separate campaign, one campaign, and depending on how many competitors you want to go after, you're gonna have separate ad groups: competitor X, competitor Y, Z, and competitor F, right? So you're gonna have, let's say, 4 competitors. If you ask me, I'll start with top three, and one campaign, 3 ad groups, and each one of them, you're gonna have a separate USP. Of course, if you have you're cheaper than all of them, just use that price and pin it into number one. So I don't really suggest not pinning anything in competitors because you want to show only one thing, that you're better than your competitor. That is your advantage in that case. So in that sense, the copy is going to be really, really, really important. The budget. I don't really suggest passing 15% of your budget. So if you're playing around with $1,000 a month, don't even bother with competitor campaigns. I usually don't have a set number, meaning unless you have $11,000 per month to spend on Google Ads, then you put in competitors campaigns. There's no set budget, but it has to be something tangible, right? If it's like, as I said, $2,000, $3,000, $1,000, don't even bother. Just try to go after your branded search, cover that first. Go after non-branded campaigns, low-hanging fruits, A-grade keywords, cover those first. And then let's say there's no way you can get more impression share from the existing campaign, existing keywords. You're doing PMax, demand gen, everything. You want to squeeze that last bit of ick, then you go to the competitor's campaign. This is gonna be a last resort, guys. But as I said, if you're in those bad boys and you have a super price sensitive and you're the cheapest, or you have an amazing advantage compared to your competitors, yes, you want to push that. But again, this is not going to be as profitable as, let's say, going into the market, right? It will compare this competitor's campaign to let's say a PMax campaign, that you're putting all your USPs again in your PMax campaigns and targeting people, let's say, searching for your competitor brand names in the PMax. I'm talking about your audience signal is, let's say, internet companies, people switching to buying a new house, just moving recently. Those are your audience signals. Yes, your offer is going to be being shown to those people who are actively searching for it. You're still going to be more profitable in those PMax campaigns than compared to a competitor's campaign, right? So as I said, 15 to 5% of your budget, no more than 15, no less than 5%. That is the sweet spot I found. In really rare cases, we find the competitor campaigns are performing like crazy. We put 25% of the budget, and we can go as low as 5%, as I said. We rarely exceed to 15%, but in rare cases, 25% of your whole Google Ads budget could be spent on the competitors campaign. What should be your expectation? That is a good question, and that is an important question. If you go into this competitors campaign, I'm gonna milk all the traffic of my competitors, I'm gonna be making a lot of money. Unfortunately, that's not gonna be the case, because there's huge factor that is stopping you, which is ad relevance. So your competitor literally has that keyword that you're targeting, competitor's name, in their domain, on their landing page, on their ad copy, thousands of times. Like, you cannot beat them on ad quality. The quality score, they're going to be way higher than you. So you're starting the battle with one foot on the ground, right? Like, you cannot win that battle. You just have to gain a little bit of market share and convert some people. If you are, so you're gonna pay more. That's regardless, right? That you're gonna pay more than them. Your CPC is going to be higher than your other campaigns. That's 100% sure. That's guaranteed. The reason, as I said, your quality score will be lower. You cannot beat them. Like, let's say you put the keywords that you're targeting in your ads, which is sometimes if they trademark that term, you cannot. But let's say you can put it somewhere. Sometimes we sneakily do that. Put that in. Put on your landing page as well. Let's say you use your brand names on your landing page. Of course, not like mimicking that, not impersonating them, but saying the X is the option, Y is the option, but why we're the best. You can say that, right? And you put that in, but your domain is not going to change, guys. Like, you literally cannot replicate everything to increase your quality score. That's not going to happen. That's why you cannot expect as good of a return compared to the other campaigns. What should be your return of investment? Let's say your cost per acquisition in terms of we're covering service-based businesses is, let's say, $50, right? In average. I'm looking at non-branded keywords, by the way. Branded will be like $10, just cost per acquisition, and your non-branded is $50. You can try to achieve $100 to $80, depending on the strength on your offer again. But if you are averaging $50 cost per acquisition, you can aim to get $100 to $80 cost per acquisition. Yes, it is way higher than your non-branded keywords, but it is the gist of it. But you're literally stealing customers from your competitors, which is like literally increasing your impression share, increasing your target share, and also you're stealing customers from your competitors. Yes, you will double the target CPA, and if you have an e-commerce store and you are actually targeting your competitors, your ROAS will be below 1. That is almost guaranteed, guys. Your ROAS will be below 1 if you're using this strategy in e-commerce, unless you have a really specific case that people really value, like the price. Maybe vacuum cleaners could be an example, right? So people rarely go for the brand, but nowadays people actually go for the brand, Dyson and so on and so forth. There's a big price discrepancy. So still, you're gonna be below 1%, but if your goal is to gain market share, yes, you can still use it, but I rarely suggest that. I usually suggest going with this type of services, or if you are selling a SIM card, right? Like, it's more of like kind of a service, but it's actually an e-com, right? SIM card people don't usually value brands. So look at the products and the industries where the price discrepancy is not that high and people don't value the brands that much. That is the case, right? Hope it makes sense, guys. If you have questions, drop it down below. Again, if you want to get a lot of free value, subscribe to this channel. See you again later. Bye bye.